Hi, this is Ella, and I'm going to be talking to you about Queen's University of Charlotte Track and Field. Like any organization, University of Charlotte Track and Field has its own particular culture. I believe that Queen's University of Charlotte Track and Field team has a good sense of organizational communication, and the culture is phenomenal. Jim Baronikamp, head coach, will be talking more about why this is.
So, Coach Baronikamp, obviously you had two track teams win conference last year, and you're a leader of this organization. So, how would you think that you set up your organizational culture?
Well, I think when you talk about culture, especially for us, most of the time, people that come into our organization, you're going to call it our team, have ideas about what success looks like and what a successful culture looks like. And they bring with them their bias or their experience. And it's our responsibility as a staff to then take those experiences and give them an idea or a roadmap about what our expectations are, whether that's from an operational standpoint, how we do things. And for us, we're very conscious through the entire year, whether or not you guys realize it, but we try to talk about it from the very beginning. We always try to say this is the overarching goal. This is where we're going, and not focus. We talk about the process, and I think the process is really important so that we don't get so consumed with the larger goal, but we always want to talk about where we're going. Okay, and that's the first thing that we want to talk about.
I think Coach V really goes into talking about how organizational culture is something that an organization is rather than something that an organization has. So, as he was saying, they have a guideline of having the right attitude come to practice and having someone who's in charge not necessarily control them, but guide them through what they want their organization to look like and have the feel of. Miller states that ideologies are something that are taken for granted assumptions about reality that influence perceptions of situations and events. And I think that Coach V definitely has this in place. He has an ideology of success and what needs to be done from his employees, which you could say are his players, and their attitude and what they need to do to be able to be successful. Miller says that organizational discourse is communicative interaction that socially constructs organizational realities that become sites of domination as they create and recreate power structures. So, as Coach V has come in and recreated the track and field team, he's been able to make them more successful and changed it from past years, which definitely goes along with the organizational discourse and has changed the organizational culture itself.
How do you think organizational culture is created and sustained through communication?
So things like shared suffering, shared common experiences, symbolism, all of those are different ways that we communicate culture. And I think culture also has to do in part with identity, ways that we dress, words and phrases that we use that people outside of our organization don't know. A lot of times you hear about organizations like Google where they have their own terminology for things that are internal to the organization. In the same way as a track and field athlete, we have things like mids and penultimate and skips, that mean a very specific thing, and it's a language that's common to you and I, but not common outside of the organization, even if those terms are common to the English language. You and I speak a different language, and I think that binds us together in communication as well. Even when we have meetings, we may use phrases and discuss things that people in the outside world don't really understand or can't comprehend. Those are things that I think that are important and build that bond again. But the way that we communicate that stuff, I think, is really important. And we're very conscious about how and what we communicate.
Organizational culture will always be around as long as there are things as organizations and teams. Thanks for watching.